Hello.
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 Excellent job.
Different greeting than our usual. Sup?
Sup? Thanks, Joanna, for change. We like change.
Any opportunity to include the Three Stooges, I'm all over it.
We're feeling a little Three Stooger-ish today. Thanks, Joanna. I like the shift. So, welcome to a special episode of Straight Up Positive. We are a week out from conference. How are you guys feeling?
Still recovering, I think.
I think I'm numb still. Yes, recovering.
Numb. I'm still just floating on positive emotions. I feel like so many positive comments and so much in the chat. And I love how we had friends who were staying up into the wee hours of the night to be with us. And then friends who were waking up and spending the morning with us when we were ending the day of the conference. And wow, that was just really cool. It was really an opportunity to really share a PAC family around the world virtually. And I can't wait till next year when we can be together in person again. Oh,
It felt really good to be with so many people. I mean, even virtually, it just, you could really feel the support through Zoom or virtually. It was palpable for sure.
it really was.
Yeah, I got to see quite a few sessions because my internet was bad, so I couldn't host. But I did get to splash around and see quite a few people. And then, of course, I edited video, so I got to see some behind the scenes stuff too.
You got lots of work post-event, didn't you, Kerri?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And we are so thankful for all the people who contributed to conference, the speakers, the people behind the scenes, our Zoom leads, everyone. And of course, our fearless leader, Tifa, who did the lion's share of speaking and who's just our leader behind it all. So it was a great event. And on Sunday, we got to pull together some of our previous Straight Up Positive guests and highlight them again and show some of their videos. And it was just such a quick preview, or not preview, but
review.
Thank you. Review of their episode, and then kind of a then and now. What are you doing now? And tell us what you think about when you go back and watch that clip. And it was just really special to reconnect with our panel. And so we wanted to. We hope that you enjoy watching our Straight Up Positive panel from conference, and maybe taking a moment to think about what you are thankful for. I'm so thankful for our certified community and the folks that we get to highlight each episode of Straight Up Positive. And also, I'm so thankful for you, Joanna, and the richness that you bring to Straight Up Positive. And Kerri, I'm so thankful for you and the skill and the techniques and just the humor and all that you bring to Straight Up Positive as well. So
I'm really thankful for all the friends that I have made from the certified community and within PAC. It's been so supportive, and meeting Joanna and Lynn and everybody, Barney, everybody that's come to or that I've seen in all the sessions, to hear their experience. I'm really thankful that they are willing to share that with us. So awesome to be part of PAC.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. What are you thankful for, Joanna?
Well, how much time do we have? you two most definitely have been there kind of by my side since I started with PAC early this year. And just the extended family that I feel like I have in PAC. Living with Alzheimer's is not a whole lot of fun, generally speaking, but boy, have I had fun with such a huge community of support. I already feel really thankful that I live in a wonderful, supportive community here in Colorado Springs. Not everybody gets that, that are dealing with some type of dementia. Not all the family and the people living with dementia are in a physical community that just have very many resources. This is a game changer to have PAC available to us to support everyone who is living in the dementia community, either as a person living with it, a family member, or a care partner, staff, someone in long-term care. And that makes it, to me, that only not just makes me able to exist, it allows me to thrive and look forward to every day. Every day I get to be with you guys is just a great day. So the support makes all the difference. And to me, that's you two. That's PAC.
Oh, thank you, Joanna. And you did mention something else that you're thankful for, and that was your creamed corn recipe. So we're going to ask you to send that out afterward because you didn't mention that. And so anyone who's interested in Joanna's creamed corn recipe, apparently there is bacon and cheese in it. So you can follow up with Joanna afterward. In the meantime, enjoy our pre-recorded Straight Up Positive panel from conference, and we'll see you back live in a couple of weeks for another episode on December 7th for another Straight Up Positive. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble till you wobble.
So, sup, everybody. Boy, I haven't said that in a long time.
Oh, it's so good to hear you say that, Matthew. It's been a while since I've heard you say that.
It has been a while. And to be honest, I have so missed you guys. And so it is so great to be back in the SUP saddle again. And I really do appreciate being able to have this opportunity. Wow, Rebekah and Kerri and Joanna and Lynn, we have such an exciting group of folks with us today and some amazing moments to share. And so before we get to all the really good stuff, right? Because there's a lot of good stuff that we're going to try to get to do quick introductions. So I'm Matthew. I'm the lead of the certified community with Positive Approach to Care, and I'm from Kansas. How about you guys?
I'm Deborah. I am certified independent trainer through PAC, and I work at PACE Southeast Michigan. I work in the physical therapy department, and I also do training for our PACE staff.
Hey, welcome, Deborah.
I'm Emily. Hi, everybody. I work with Deb, and I'm one of the social workers at PACE and a certified trainer.
Welcome, Emily. We have some panelists with us that are some folks that are going to be with us during this session that have been on with us before in the past. And actually, we have them now spotlighted on here. So I'm going to shift gears, guys. I'm so sorry about that because I totally opened it up for everybody. But I want you guys to still give us in that chat because I see some of you doing that in the chat right now. Tell us who you are and where you're from. We would still love to hear that. But I want to shift gears over to these folks that we actually have spotlighted for that introduction, because these are the folks we're going to cover on some of those SUP sessions. So I actually see Juan next on there. So Juan, I'm curious if you could give us a quick little intro.
I'm Matthew. I am Juan Carlos Rojas, and I am in New York City. I am independent trainer for PAC. I just quit my job. I was training for the company for 6 years, but I'm going solo now, and I'm so happy and excited. And thank you for having me here.
Welcome on.
Okay, so we had Debbie introduce herself, but I know her cohort is here. Emily, did you have a chance to introduce yourself as well?
I did.
Oh man, okay, I missed it. I was frantically doing things on the Zoom behind the screen. How about Leandra? Leandra, did you have a chance to introduce yourself?
I didn't. Hi, I'm Leandra Sims. I am a certified coach and trainer, and I am a memory care director, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Leandra. We will not show the parts where you cursed last time. Okay. All right, and how about Denise? Denise, can you tell us about yourself, and then Laura and Catherine Livingstone?
Hi, I'm Denise Feller, and I'm in Williamsburg, Virginia right now, and I am a PAC independent certified trainer, consultant, and advanced consultant. Nothing like being an overachiever. Love me some TPUP, and I oversee a geriatric assessment clinic, and I also work in a memory care clinic in a neurology practice, which understands the importance of bringing PAC and episdoe into providing that support and education for the care partners and people living with dementia. So,
welcome, Denise.
And hi, I'm Laura Lavoie, and I am a PAC trainer, engagement leader, and consultant, and love everything PAC as well. And I have my own business newly started, which is called Our Dementia Life, thanks to Tifa and the gang giving me the confidence and courage and knowledge to begin that.
Cool. Welcome, Laura.
Thanks.
And hi, I'm Catherine. Today I'm calling in from a very snowy Winnipeg, Canada, which is also Treaty 1 territory. We're just a couple hours north of North Dakota. And I am an independent certified consultant, and I own my own social enterprise company, and I focus mostly on consulting with families and care communities on psychosocial and engagement opportunities.
Welcome, Catherine. Let's see, it looks like that's all the folks that we have spotlighted. Rebekah, I'm curious if you see anybody else on your end that we're missing that we're going to be talking with today.
I think we're good. I can't seem to spotlight myself, but that is totally okay. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can share a screen, because we're going to dive into, so we've had, what was it? I think I said in the email, 58 episodes of Straight Up Positive. And so what we wanted to do is kind of like those reunion shows that they do on television talk shows, and kind of the where are they now piece. And oh, it's so hard to choose between all of the great folks that we've had share their shine on Straight Up Positive. But we're going to show a few clips, or a clip of everyone here that's on our panel today, and follow up with some questions. And as with all things Straight Up Positive, time is going to fly. So we've got to try to put a lot into a short amount of time. And I'm going to introduce my friends Debbie and Emily again from Pace, Michigan, because when I first became a PAC mentor, these ladies were my very first learners. So hopefully that was a positive experience for them. I'm wondering if, oh man, I lost everybody. Can you see my screen? Matthew, can you give me a visual or a verbal?
Yes, we can see your screen, Rebekah.
Awesome, thank you. I am not as skilled as I thought on this Zoom thing. So I'm going to share a little video where Emily is talking about this team approach. And then Debbie's going to share how their team has grown even more since they first got started way back in, was it 2018, gang? 2018, I think it was.
Yep, 2018.
2018. All right, so let's do this short video clip of Emily sharing, and then we'll talk on the other side of it.
I don't know, any advice you have for someone being certified, or any just last minute things you want to add on? Because I know you guys have a lot to share.
Emily, you want to go for it? I'll go first. I have a few closing thoughts. So one is that this training is definitely worth it.
Ooh, Rebekah.
People who have dementia.
I was curious if you could pause for a second.
Yep.
So we can kind of hear the clip, but I'm curious if that little button in the lower left-hand corner of that share screen, if you click that one when you went in there, or if that one still needs that little check mark.
Oh,
you can sort of hear it, and it's like low, but it almost sounds like it's playing off of your computer, and we're just hearing it from your mic from your computer.
That is unfortunate.
Like I have done so many times myself, to be honest, full disclosure, total so many times.
I know, and Emily has such great things to say. And you know what? I did not click that button. So thank you for that. How did I forget that button? Write in the chat if you've forgotten that button when you've been sharing screen, because I don't think I'm alone. So here we go. Is that better?
Do you want to go for it?
I'll go first. I have a few closing thoughts. So one is that this training is definitely worth it. If you work with people who have dementia, it's invaluable. It's invaluable to go through this training, whether it's being a certification to be a trainer or a coach, or just to have the knowledge about the tools that are available. It's amazing, and it really does make a difference. The second thing is a team approach I can't imagine not having a team. I'm so thankful for Deb and Ken, and I rely on them all the time. And so thank you. And really, I would encourage you to work as a team. And then also I will say that the PAC community is very supportive, and they're very encouraging, and they're also challenging. So I'm someone who, I started doing the training, I was very nervous about doing it, and I was able to be coached up a little bit, and I'm still being coached up. So if you're worried about not having the skills and the techniques to be able to do it, you will be supported, and you will grow. And it's really a wonderful thing.
Love it. Thank you, Emily.
So Emily, I'm wondering if you noticed that as you were talking about coaching and spurring each other on, you pointed in a certain direction. I'm not sure who was on your screen in that direction, but it looked like you were pointing at me in this spurring each other on. I hope that's a good thing and not a bad thing. Can you tell us how you've been spurred on by your team at PACE Michigan, or with your PAC mentors, or the certified community in general?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Rebekah. So first, Positive Approach to Care is one of the most supportive communities, and that's at several different levels, right? So definitely having Deb as another trainer at my organization has been amazing, not only because we're able to hold each other accountable and encourage each other, but we also bring a balance when we co-teach and co-train. So that's been extraordinarily helpful. Deb's also the reason that I'm here today. Deb was like, Emily, we have to do this. And I'm like, do we have to, Deb? Like, I get nervous in front of people, and Deb's like, Emily, come on. So it's very encouraging to have another person who's able to kind of hold your hand and booster you through it. And then having Rebekah as my mentor, first of all, definitely a blessing. Thank you, Rebekah. And I can't talk enough about how encouraging the mentors are, because not only are you able to highlight things that we're doing well within our training, but also pointing out in a very encouraging way things that we can grow in and what our opportunities are. So we're never complacent, right? We're always striving to do better, and that is another great asset. And then just the PAC community altogether, with providing tools and being adaptive, especially going through the pandemic, moving to having trainings online and starting SUP, all the different tools and ways that we're able to connect with each other has been amazing. So yes, it's a good thing that I was pointing at you.
Thanks, Emily. I appreciate that. And when I was so impressed when you and Debbie first came to the certification course, because you as a social worker and Debbie as a therapist, and you also had a transportation worker who came to get certified, and it was truly this team approach. And so, Debbie, I know you've got some then and now pieces to share as far as you didn't stop there. So you've got other folks that are coming through. Tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, here in Southeast Michigan, our program has grown considerably. I think we had close to 1,000 participants at the time we did SUP, and we now are up to 1,300. So, we're going up there. We're also going to be opening 2 new centers within the next year and a half. And they're talking about having 400 participants at each one of those. So we're definitely growing because we have more staff, because we've got more participants. We were able to get 2 new trainers. So we have a total of 5 trainers for about 600 staff members. Looking forward to getting more and definitely growing in that area, but it's been a wonderful thing. And as Emily said, Rebekah, you were great because you really got the PACE program because you had all of us at once. And it's a very unique program, and it's hard to wrap your head around it until you really get a chance to experience what goes on. And because we have such a team approach, the support, like Emily said, that you guys gave us was incredible. As with everyone, COVID shifted everything. And we were training the staff, but, and Emily, I'm sure could definitely add into this as a social worker, a lot of the participants' families that were with them during shutdown, during COVID, were seeing things they didn't normally see. So they were contacting us, and from a therapy standpoint, they were seeing decreased in functional status from socialization and just overall mental status. They weren't getting the stimulation they normally get. So I know Emily was getting calls. So they were seeing a side of mom, dad, brother, sister, whoever it might be. We had to shift our training to accommodate those families, to really educate them in a different way because they were seeing their loved one, their family member, in a different light. And the PAC team was really there helping give us what we needed to kind of change our structure, basically, and to do the same thing we do, but do it in a different way. So we're growing, and we're growing in many different directions at PACE, and this PAC program is going to be with us, and it's going to keep growing within PACE.
Love it. So Matthew, I think you've got some thoughts on Leandra, who was fun. She was early on, and we had a lot of fun with Leandra's section.
Yes, we did. Yeah. And so we're gonna jump on a plane and travel from Michigan on over to California, where Leandra is from. And we're gonna get a chance to watch Leandra's piece. And as Rebekah mentioned earlier on, there was a little piece there where we threw some words out, which, hey, we know that happens. That's something that happens. And so for us, it was definitely a very enjoyable episode. And so I'm going to show this clip, and then we're going to talk to Leandra about what her team was able to do by bringing in not only trainers, but also coaches into their facility.
I do think there is something to be said for, there's one thing to train and teach, which we do for every new team member that come in. We do I'm a trainer, we do 8 hours of training and 6 hours of skills with every new team member. But it wasn't until we actually had coaches on the floor that could help those team members, because they would get stuck and they would say, well, no, you said it works. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then after we started getting the coaches, they would say, yeah, they would connect with them and say, yes, well, tell me about it. Let's talk about it. Hey, let me show you a skill. And they had those skills on the floor. And that was when we really saw everything coming together. And we're still on our journey. So, but it is, if I could have
Yeah.
Coaches. I still have plans to get at least 5 more coaches.
Pause there, because wow. So bring up this great piece of you guys had trainings in place and you were doing some trainings and you decided to bring in coaches because you noticed, oh, there's something here that coaches can do for us that maybe we aren't quite seeing with just having those trainers in place. So for all of our folks out there who aren't quite savvy with like certifications and which ones do what and how does that work, tell us some of those differences that you noticed with the trainers doing their thing and the coaches doing their thing. And then once that came together, how that worked out for you guys.
Well, I just want to say it wasn't just my idea. I had a lot of guidance. I have an awesome mentor, Catherine. So shout out to her for a moment. Shout out because she's just wonderful. And I actually started as a coach and she encouraged me to become a trainer. And then she also kind of mentioned, hey, you could get more coaches. And we actually certified leads that were on the floor, and it's made such a tremendous difference. We just love our coaches. And what was so amazing is that you took some people who felt like they were just leads, and they just started to shine as leaders, and they continue to grow. I think they're both accomplished coaches. I'm so proud of both of our leads, and our director of nursing is a certified coach. Our director of assisted living is a coach, and you just get to see the skills grow on the floor. So I think that was like the magic piece. We just had one of our partners that hasn't been able to come out for a long time, of course, because of COVID, and she hadn't seen our community for a while, and she just wanted to know what we did. And I said, PAC, and it's definitely PAC. So grateful for everything, but I definitely would encourage everyone to go beyond just having a trainer in the building and or wherever you are and get those coaches to help get the skills going.
Yeah, that's so cool. So bringing up this piece of trainers, they do a great job of getting that awareness and knowledge out and starting to get some skill in there. But those coaches, they're able to take those learners after that training and they're able to keep drilling into those skills, keep things rolling, keep things going, and the use of that skill and finding out, what's going good and what are we going to shift and try different. And this all kind of ties into what we've been talking about so far, which is this big team approach. How we have each person in each place that really helps to bring that team together and help us all to be more successful with what we're trying to do, especially when we're trying to do this cultural shift in a setting.
And Matthew, you're talking about that team approach. I'm wondering a piece, Leandra, were you about to add something else there? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just was going to add that all the coaches, it's very interesting. We have this new little culture during COVID, and we always say, don't be diamond, don't be diamond. And it's been really nice to have that supportive team. That's all I was going to add.
Yeah, so it kind of becomes part of the language, doesn't it? Don't be diamond. Yeah. I'm doing a diamond session on Tuesday, and I said it is perfectly rigid and structured and everything you would expect in the diamond session. So yeah, it becomes part of our language. Matthew was talking about this team approach, and a really important part of the team is always when we're talking about care for individuals living with dementia, well, no care about me without me, right? And so our buddy Laura on her Straight Up Positive episode talked about how a lot of times in engagement or programming, there's this prep work that happens behind the scenes, and then an activity or a program happens. And then there's this prep work. And Laura, I'm going to let us see in your own words how you changed that paradigm and then see how others may have had paradigm shifts with PAC involvement as well. So I'm going to see if this works better this time, if I can share my screen better this time. And
sure, like what missed opportunities
you
had through the years that now we don't have to miss, because you sit in the room with your the other activities folks and your staff, and we're like, quick, we got to do this, and we have these programs to run, and then we've got to do this, and we're like, oh my god, I have 75 more beats to do. And it was just like, when we went there, like, part of this thing was showing you how every prep can be an engagement and can be a program, and you can grab those folks who are sitting in the hall doing and almost asleep, and it's like, I'll go up to them with a laundry basket full of stuff I just bought that needed all the stuff clipped off of it, and then 45 minutes just reminiscing and showing this person that she can still use a pair of scissors safely and successfully, and cutting wallpaper samples for different things, and somebody can help you do that and reminisce about all the wallpaper and how nobody's using it anymore, but it's coming.
So I'm going to pause it there. And so Laura, you had this paradigm shift, and so I want to ask the rest of the group, and this is for everybody here on the screen, any kind of paradigm shifts like what Laura shared is, for her, it was not doing the prep work, but having that as part of engagement. Any paradigm shifts that you all would like to share? Not everybody all at once. Thanks, Emily.
I have one. Yeah, my big takeaway, my big learning was about wandering, because we have a memory care unit, and that's normally when I got called in. This person's leaving, they're exit seeking, and it was the shift of really, where are they, and where are they trying to go? And so for some people, they were like, I want to go home, but what does home mean? Home means somewhere where I'm comfortable, or I'm hungry, and that's actually why I want to go home, is to eat lunch. And so it's really entering into their world and being able to guide them that way and to meet their needs. So that was my big, instead of what we are worried about, which is they're trying to leave the building, it's really, how do we meet their needs and their reality?
I like that. So rather than thinking of it from a perspective of how is it impacting me, but instead, what is this telling us? What is this telling us? And Laura, one of the things too that I appreciate so much, I loved hearing that paradigm shift, and also I see how active you are in our certified community, on our certified community Facebook page. And so I'm curious, for folks who are watching who aren't familiar, everyone that you're seeing on your screen is a part of our certified community. They are either a certified trainer, engagement leader, consultant, or coach. And when you obtain that certification, you get to be a part of this certified community. And part of that is our Facebook page. And you can be as active or not as active as you want to be. But I'm wondering, Laura, for you, how has being a part of certified community helped you connect and share information with other people, especially as you're talking about, this new chapter that you're heading into?
This Facebook page that we have has been really invaluable. I mean, just going on and asking questions is phenomenal, because you can put a question in, and then you go have dinner and you come back and there's a ton of responses, and oh wow, yeah. And then, or becoming part of the birds or the business meetings, people who want to try to find something to do with their PAC training, where do you go from there? There are tons of people on there who have information about that, things that they've done.
Alan, can you look through this crate, please?
Oh, sorry. So whatever you're looking for there, whether it just be the answer to a question, or whether it be, hey, I have this training, what do I do now?
Ooh, Laura, you're giving us a lot of great stuff, and I'm curious. I think what happened is the mute all happened, and so I'm wondering, if you click that mute button again, it should open it back up. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. I thought, oops, you're talking too much. They mute you. No, but yeah, it's just really great. I don't know where I got muted, but if you have a question, or if you want to further know what to do with PAC, or if you just have a problem, like, this poor person is going through this, and you have a ton of other people who, I had that happen, and I tried this, and I tried this. So there's a lot of different opportunities for you to try different things. I love the community in all ways, but the Facebook page is great.
Yeah, and it gives you that opportunity to tap into a brain trust, because there are so many different people of so many different backgrounds and certifications that it really does give you that opportunity, if you want to go and throw that question out there and see what people say. And usually there's somebody out there who's had a similar experience or has been in that situation in some way, or even sometimes folks that are like, oh my gosh, I haven't thought of that. I'm following this. So they can pay attention to what it's saying and be able to get some of that information. So what a great way to share out different things that we've all learned or experienced, to be able to help other folks out there in the certified community be able to take that and do something with it. Because that's that big thing, right? It's finding that thing. Ooh, okay, what is it that we learned out of this? Or what is it that we could take away and now try something different?
And it's not only that, it's the Friday, the Alejandro, it's the SUP, it's all these things that the PAC mentors are offering back to us, that you can go and find all those kinds of things to see too.
Yeah, so many amazing ways to go and get some of, in more ways, that information, like Straight Up Positive, like the open door practice times on Fridays with Alejandro. And the team. But yeah, definitely a lot of great ways to be able to, again, learn from other folks or ask questions and try things out. So very cool. And speaking of sharing things out, Denise Butler, who actually is the next person we're going to talk about, she shared something really cool with us that she did in her place when it came to a situation of somebody needing some help. And there were folks around this person trying to help her out, but it just wasn't quite working. And Denise was able to take her skills and do something different. Let's take a look and see.
Community, and tell me about some of the skills that you were able to take back to your community.
So just, I think that whole, just how to that positive approach, understanding that where you start and getting that permission to come in, and what do you do when you don't get permission? Hey, COVID has really kind of hamstrung me in terms of I can't do hand under hand. I can't teach can't teach it. But I will tell you, because when a patient needs something, they need something. And when I'm thinking of a very specific case about 3 months ago, she's probably about a Ruby right now, and she's in the exam room, and she couldn't figure out how to uncross her legs to stand up. So, I've got gear, I've got the face mask and the goggles and all that. So I just put on a pair of gloves, and using all the things that I know that Tifa's taught us, was able to work with her. Slowly, she uncrossed her legs, was able to stop. She stand up. She needs assistance with walking, and I just did hand under hand with her all the way down the hallway till we checked out.
I love that story, because what you were able to.
Wow. So Denise, so you had this opportunity here when other folks were trying things out and it just wasn't working in that moment, that you noticed something you could do with these new PAC tools. And so you were able to actually help her out in that moment using these tools that you got from your certification, and end up completing this particular task of helping her to uncross her legs so she could stand up and be able to go check out. And so I'm curious, speaking of tools, what are some tools as a PAC certified community member that you would recommend to folks out there in the certified community world that could be really helpful for folks out there who are trying to learn about this stuff?
One tool or just the whole set. So I think the whole package, the positive physical approach, that person making that personal connection first, all of that has to happen. Not think, especially, and I can only speak, working in a clinic setting that sometimes, even though we allow a long time for an appointment, people tend to rush that person. And it doesn't go well. So taking your time. Also, this is somebody we've been seeing for a while. She was comfortable with me, and I was able to just take that time with her. We already had that trust established, but just from the very beginning, just the whole thing that TIPA teaches us. Yeah. Somebody just said rushing makes people go slower. It absolutely does. I had to be relaxed so she could be relaxed. But I have to tell you, if you don't learn anything else, learn to take a deep breath. Because that serves you well, not just in these situations, but throughout life. And it's something that we have used, that we use here all the time, even when we're dealing with stressful situations with each other in the office. Yeah, take that deep breath. And we do this to, the timeout, it's okay. Because all of us are not all of us are TIPA trained, but we've all been imbued with all this, what we've learned from TIPA, that we've taken it and use it with the patients that we see and the families, but with each other. These are skill sets you can use in almost any setting. So the other thing, and you might see in my office, the living gems chart. I use that a lot. And then all of these as well. If you don't have these, get them. They are invaluable. Yeah, that deep breathing. And I get people in the care partners that are really stressed. And then just before we get started, I don't even have to if you just take a deep breath, people will follow you. You don't even have to say it. They don't even realize how stressed they are. So by the time they leave, the mission is to get everybody, so everybody is down here and not up here. So it's so hard for me to identify one thing that I've learned from TIPA. I've learned so many. There's just the skills, the awareness, everything that you get from PAC training. And it doesn't matter whether you're a trainer, you're a consultant, an advanced consultant. I haven't done coach, but I would imagine these all bring all these skill sets together. And I would just, the other thing I would do is encourage people, don't stop with just one certification. Every time you get another one, you're building your skills that much more and you're adding to it. And what you've learned before, you become that much better when you do these other certifications. They all just build on each other so incredibly.
Yeah, so Denise, definitely noticing how, man, there are just so many tools. It's so hard to really pick out like certain ones that are must-haves, but definitely recognizing, especially now, those pieces of recognizing gem states of other folks as well as ourselves, where we're at in the moment and what it takes for us sometimes to, oh shoot, I'm shifting. I need to pause. I need to take a deep breath so I can get back to that sapphire gem state and be flexible and be able to support anybody in that moment, depending on what gem state they could be in. And so there's so many great resources out there that help us to do that and help us to recognize as well when somebody is shifting in gem states. So what a great complement of suggestions and tools that folks could use out there to really help support their team, but also help support everyone else out there.
I love how Denise's office actually looks like a PAC store.
You haven't seen the stuff that's on my desk.
Denise, you are awesome.
We have this. I have the lanyard somewhere. I mean, I've got, because I have all the cards, the hand cards. They're all here. I use them every day. They're just, yeah. So yeah, Anytime you want to visit me in Williamsburg, I am happy to sit down and talk to you about this.
Denise. Yes, and for anyone that's like, oh, she just put that up for today, trust me, we've had meetings all throughout the year, and that stuff is always there. Denise is
these are not props that are just.
These are not props.
These are props in the sense that, yes, I use them every day, but these are not just for this thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming back and sharing again with us, Denise. And I want to go back up to where our buddy Joanna talked about Denise's story. And before we transition to Catherine, who was actually on with Joanna fairly recently. But Joanna, you said something in the chat that I want to go back to. And Denise saw it and acknowledged it, but can you tell us more about that? Because we were talking about Denise's example of helping that woman uncross her legs.
Ooh, Rebekah.
Oh, I know that voice.
Hey, Joanna. It's Deepa.
Hi, Deepa. Where are you? I can't see you.
I know. There's so many people. I bet you any money somebody will figure out how to make us big and we'll both show up in a space.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they won't make me big because they don't want me in their business. But one of the cool things about being part of the certified PAC community is we have people who are living with dementia who are part of our certified PAC community. And some of them are on champion courses. And if anybody takes the cake for consistency of appearing at some of our champion courses, it's got to be Joanna and Lynn. Mark has done it previously. We've got to have a lot of people doing it, but they really are sort of our stable force for helping people look, listen, and understand a little bit more. We have Bill on here too, Bill Hayden. Anyone who's living with some form of dementia is part of our core team. If they choose and they want to be part of our world, we invite them in because they are the core of what we do and why we do it. And so that, I think, sometimes is an overlooked benefit from being part of our certified community, is these folks are around and often available to the certified community to use as amazing teachers. So now, Joanna, I'll let you do your thing. But what I really wanted to say is you and Lynn and Bill, and I don't know if Mark's on here, we have so many folks who are living with dementia, but they are essential to what people learn. And we've got a whole new crew at Soltis Place who are starting to take that role on too. So go ahead now. I needed to interrupt because it was important to say how important you guys are, and that you're a core part of a resource that we offer as part of a certified community, and wanted to make sure that got heard really loud.
Thank you. We love being here. Now, what was my question?
Yeah, so in the chat, Joanna, you had written about that sometimes if someone tries to speed us up, that it actually makes us go slower.
Right. And I think someone followed up that with picking up on emotions, the emotional state of the person that is trying to make us go fast or hurry up. I think we just do that as people with spirits and souls. We just kind of pick up on each other's energy. And that doesn't change when you're living with dementia. I feel a lot more sensitive. And so if, someone is in a hurry and trying to, work their agenda, we're going to use, right, Matthew, just showing us the hand. It just all of a sudden, in addition to me trying to do whatever the joint task is, now I'm aware that this person is moving at a different pace than I am capable. So it's kind of strange that I wouldn't move as quickly as I possibly could, and they don't think that I'm doing that. So it's like, please don't do that, because now I'm going even slower. I'm trying to process what's wrong with you trying to make me move at a different pace? And I'm already doing the best I can. And then what am I supposed to be doing again? So it's a little bit of overload, you know, and it stresses people out. I think it stresses everybody out when you don't move at the same pace, but that's kind of where I was headed with that in the chat.
Thank you, Joanna. That's a really important piece to hear firsthand from you. Thank you.
Sure, thank you.
And Joanna, you and I had the opportunity recently to connect with Catherine Livingstone, who is in Yellowknife. Did I remember, Catherine? Oh, you used to be in Yellowknife. Ah, okay. So, Catherine, I'm going to show a little clip of your video from really sharing a different perspective, because a lot of our certified community folks are maybe therapists or nurses or social workers, but you actually brought in a completely different career path, and it has beautifully enhanced your practice. So I'm going to share that quickly and then chat with you on the other side of it. And Joanna got to be a part of this discussion. So Joanna, any questions that you have follow up for Catherine, please be prepared to show that or ask those. Here we go. All right.
So unlike most people in the field, I don't come from a clinical or a social work background. So that is something a little bit different. I have a different skill set that I find often complements people who do have a clinical or social work background. So I'm actually a former museum curator and an art gallery programmer. So my academic background is in history. I worked on my PhD for a while, and then I left academia because I really wanted to work with people. And so I've worked in some major museums, and I've done exhibits internationally. And so that was my world, was really museums and art history and engaging the public. And I always loved intergenerational programming. So that was something that I always gravitated to naturally.
So Catherine, back to this idea of we're a TV talk show and we're doing a then and now show. You have these skills, and how are you using those museum curator skills to support people who are living with brain change?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, it seems like it might not be a natural fit to begin with, because it's not coming from that clinical kind of avenue, but I found it's actually a great skill set that dovetails with all my OTs and PTs and SLPs and social workers out there. I see you out there. And so one of the things that makes a great museum curator is understanding that the art or the artifacts that you are putting on display are not being done to the viewer. So it's an act of making meaning together. It's a relational act. So if you picture like a Monet on the wall, maybe it's the water lilies, those beautiful sort of diaphanous pastels, and it's on the wall, but it doesn't exist until the viewer comes to look at it. And then the meaning is made between the two, the art and the viewer. And this sounds a bit esoteric, but come with me on this journey, my friends, because what I'm saying is that in care, it's the same sort of theory that applies. A task or an engagement opportunity, which is my focus, can't be done to someone. It can only be done with someone together. And it's the doing it together that makes the meaning. So I was able to slide very easily between this sort of world of exhibits and art and programming, and sort of going right from like Picasso to plaques and tangles was like a very easy transition, because there's room in our world for both, and they shouldn't be siloed. So that was my skill set. It's very theoretical what I'm talking about right now, but really about making that meaning together. So really moving towards that relational care model rather than perhaps even person-centered care. And I think that's what the PAC skills really is about that connecting and that making relationships with both parties coming together.
Absolutely. And so I'm seeing in the comments section, several folks are really enjoying the imagery. And when we met previously before your episode of Straight Up Positive, Joanna and I were also really jiving with that. And there was a particular art term, Joanna, still life. And I'm wondering if you would tell our viewers who didn't get to see Catherine's episode about that still life phenomena.
You want me to talk about still life? That's my favorite type of art to be. Well, Catherine and I were talking about this. I guess I kind of talk about this a lot when people living with dementia have those moments where they are being still, where they are sitting and void of stimulation. There's no sound, there's no TV on, there's no people in the room. And someone walks in and, immediately wants to get them to do something because they're not doing anything. They're not eating. They're basically sitting there staring at the wall for all intents and purposes, doing nothing. And Catherine and I talked about, I shared with her how that's actually a very important part of my day. However long that needs to take place, I'm being still life because I'm actually doing something. You can't see it, but it's a critical part of my well-being. And we ebb and we flow and we kind of, do this throughout the day. And it always concerns me when I hear someone's been moved out of a living situation, a care center or memory care to somewhere else because they walked in and they were just sitting there. The family came in and mom or dad, they weren't doing enough activities and they looked bored. And I think that activities are important, but what Catherine and I really came up with is the still life part of this is an important part of my day. And, I can only imagine how important it's going to be as I progress. And I think it's an important part for most of us. So I'm going to let Catherine kind of chime in on that. Did I capture that? Did I remember that correctly?
You got it, Joanna.
I was being still earlier today, so I might have been still too long.
No, that was perfect.
And I think what was so exciting about that conversation, Joanna, was that in talking about that still life, it was really encouraging me in my own practice as a reminder to invite stillness into the relationship. If I am with someone, actually with anyone, but with people with brain change, bringing that stillness like a third party into the space and inviting it in. And I think when we're talking about activities and engagement opportunities, especially, but I think this can apply to the whole gamut of things we do together, is really allowing for that breathing space, that white space, that calmness. And it's not something to be avoided. It's something to be embraced. It's something really beautiful.
Wow, that is so awesome. And, interestingly enough, we talk sometimes about out of the box thinking. And so the in the box thinking is, well, a person's sitting still and they've been there for a while, so I need to get them up and they need to do something. And so taking that moment and thinking outside of the box and realizing, wow, this person needs this time. This is that recovery time, that downtime that helps them to get that energy back for something later, and how important that can be to recognize that. It actually kind of reminds me of the next person we're going to bring on to show, which is Juan Carlos, because Juan, you joined the SUP team and you got a chance to talk about how, like Denise, you were able to take some of these tools that you got from your PAC certification and using that knack of thinking outside of the box and doing some improv, and how that can help solving sometimes challenges in situations. And so I'm going to play the clip, and we're going to talk a little bit about how that PAC training changed or enforced your experiences with care partners when you were helping them out in the community.
That training opened my eyes to different way. I was doing everything wrong. Even when I loved my lady, I did everything I was doing. I was trying to bring her to reality, say, no, we had to do this because, oh no, you can't wear those because blah, blah, blah. No, you had to take a shower because we had to do. So I wasn't listening at all, my lady. And that's when I took the training, changed my perspective about dementia. So when I got my certificate, I went back to my lady and I gave her a big hug. And I said, I'm so sorry for all what I have done for you. And I promise I'm going to be the best guy that you can ever have. And I'm going to be with you until we had to be together. So I was able to be with her until the end. So that's the same. I wasn't the same guy that came to this training. Something changed on me.
Wow. So Juan, tell us about how that is continuing to change some of what you're doing with these skills, and how you're taking them forward to continue to help you with what you're doing out there.
Yeah, this well, the back training changed my life, and one of the big proof is I quit my job because my goals is like I've been training for 6 years in New York for the Hispanic community living here, and during all these years I've been trying to do my best because like I said in the interview, I've been working with people with dementia one-on-one, and I know the needs. But something was going on me all the time, thinking, well, what about the people in my country? What about the people in another country? They don't have access to this information, which is priceless. PAC training changed my life. When I was training, when I was doing the training before, I was like a couple hours talking, and sometimes my trainings, they were 7 hours. Talking, and finally asking a question to see if the person learned something. But just this little car changed my life. After taking the training with TPAP, it was incredible how even the people react in my training. It was fun, it was interesting, people were learning. And I was so happy because I knew if I trained 20 people with dementia, we will have, I was sure that they're going to have the best care because I got some skills. I am so grateful for this. Like I said, I resigned to my company. I'm going solo now. I am in conversation with some consulate. In February, I'm translating TPA's material in Spanish because I want to put everywhere this concept that they are very necessary for, I think, everybody, even the person who lives in the little town, have the same right to feel a human being, humanized like here. Dignity is equal for everyone. So this is my goal. PAC team has been great, very generous. Alejandro, I had the best mentor. He was so generous sometimes to talk to me in Spanish when he knew I was a little I didn't understand very well the concept, but he was very generous to giving everything. So I am forever grateful. So my life changed, my train changed, when I took the training, I had the opportunity to do like 3 or 4 more trainings, and I was presenting this, and my class was easy. I didn't spend so many hours talking. We were solving problems together, and was magic. And I wish everyone can have the opportunity to take this training because, can I say one more thing? I remember one time in my class, some lady we were in Zoom, and she was like this. For me, I thought, oh my God, it's so disrespectful. And I said, do you mind to open your eyes? Because I don't want to fall asleep too. And that's create a little thing in the training. But when I took the training, I learned the adult people learn in different way. And when Tipa say, some people, they have to close their eyes to think about it. Oh God, I think every trainer should have opportunity to have these skills because there are so many people that let's say you can't teach a piano if you have never touched the piano. You can't teach to swim if you've never been in the water. So I was training like without being in the water, but thank you so much. I can't say enough thank you to you guys and to Alejandro and to Tipa.
Thank you, everyone. And we are out of time. Please go over and thank you, Juan Carlos. You've got a lot of comments. I hope you have a chance to see the chat. Everybody loves your passion and your motivation. We have our organization designation session next, where we're going to talk to folks who have taken it to that next level. So from certified community to getting their organization designated as a PAC designated organization. But thank you, Juan Carlos, Catherine, Deborah, Emily, Leandra, Denise, and Laura. And as always, Matthew, thanks for coming back and being a part of this panel. Joanna, always. Thank you, everyone.
Hi, I'm Tipa Snow, and you just found our YouTube channel and watched one of our videos. I'm the owner and founder of Positive Approach to Care. Thanks for watching. And if you liked, if you have a comment about, or you would, please share it with people you know. Oh, and if you haven't yet done it, consider subscribing. We'll let you know when the next new video comes out. And you might want to visit our website, www.tipasnow.com, where you'll find other resources as well. See you there.